Are you ready?
Hey peeps, how's it going? First, before we hop into the video, you can fast forward if you want. I don't care. This is weird that we're in a lockdown, and then it's something we never experienced before in my life. It really doesn't affect me because my job has not closed as of yet. I mean, that's still day to day, but if you got family members who are police officers, firefighters, paramedics, doctors, I guess all the way down to grocery store clerks who have to still work, it's gonna get crazy. It's gonna be super busy. You think finding toilet paper is harder now? I mean, with Michigan being locked down, it's gonna be crazy. There's a lot of stupid people out there who do stupid things. Just be safe, be cautious. Make sure the people who are working, you show them your love and support because they're gonna be crazy busy. Now, as you guys start your 1 month quarantine / lockdown, whatever you want to call it, let's start with the good topic here. You can say this is controversial. You can say it's true. You can say it's not really fair to do so. Here's my standpoint. This is the most important draft for the Detroit Pistons in the last 10 to 15 years or so. We'll say it's probably the most important since 2003, which we screwed that one up. And you can look back on the Pistons draft stock or passes and poor picks since 2003, starting with Darko. We have made a ton of crucial errors through multiple coaches and GMs. They have passed up on some of the best talent in the league today. Melo and Bosh and Wade are the biggest names, but I mean, you could have had Kawhi and Paul George and Devin Booker and I could be here all day. That's in the past. This is now. I don't know who in this draft is going to be the guy in the draft. There's a lot of big names right now that we're looking at for the Pistons, and maybe we're calling them big names because it's for the Pistons. Maybe, I really haven't got a kind of a grasp of what other teams are looking at for their talent, or how fans or even other teams are looking at players right now, because it's kind of like a weird time, like I said. But maybe they're not kind of that, and that we probably shouldn't be calling them big names because they're unproven right now. And with March Madness not being played as of now, March is almost over. I don't know if they'll remake it up or if it's actually canceled. We don't get an opportunity to see who's going to become the next big thing. Like last year, it helped Ja build his name. He was already good talent, but the March Madness tournament helped boost his draft value. The point being is we don't have that this year. So the Pistons, probably aren't doing any work right now because, I think for the NBA, they're telling people they have to stay quarantined. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But I don't know what NBA teams are doing right now. I don't know if they're talking to their players, if they're looking at free agents right now, if they're looking at draft videos. I don't know because, like we said, we've never really experienced anything like this. So I don't know what to expect from the Pistons or from other NBA teams right now. I would imagine somebody like Milwaukee or the Lakers are still preparing for the playoffs, but I don't know. I would assume people like the Pistons and the Knicks are kind of looking forward to the offseason and kind of doing the research there, if they're working at all. But this is the most important draft for the Pistons in the last 10 or 15 years or so. I guess 2003 was 17 years ago, so I guess really since then, I don't want to say 20, because 20 is a long time. Point being, this is a crucial point, without delaying it any further. This is a crucial point for both Ed Stefanski and Dwayne Casey, because even though Ed Pye makes the final pick, Dwayne Casey has a say-so. Tom Gores has a say-so in who we're taking. It is on them to get this right. If we pass, because right now we got a top 5 pick. If we pass on a player who gets drafted 6th or 7th and they become better than the guy we take at 5, if that's where we stay, I'm going to lose it. You have to get this thing right. You've had the time to do your research right now. You got time to spend with your family. I know that's the most important thing. But you have to get this right. Because if you don't, people are already starting to lose faith in Dwayne Casey. And for Ed Stefanski, I don't know if people are really losing faith in Ed. A lot of people are mad at Dwayne Casey for substitutions and stuff like that. I see both sides of the argument. I don't know. I'm not really there to say you got fired Dwayne Casey yet. He's not the perfect coach. But there's, like, we've had Stan Van Gundy. I would say he's better than Stan Van Gundy. Point being is, if they get this one wrong, a lot more people's faith are going to be shaken in both Stefanski and in Casey's case, and maybe even Tom Gores a lot. Well, I don't think anyone likes Tom Gores, except for Tom Gores. But if you don't get this thing right, let's say this. Let's say you get this thing right. A lot more people will buy in. It makes giving away Reggie and Drummond away for nothing look better, because now we got something, man. Because we got something in Christian Wood. Christian Wood's a nice player. I don't know how much better he's going to get. I don't know if he'll be an all-star next year, but he's playing like one towards the end of the season right now. You're going to have Derrick Rose coming off the bench, because you're probably going to take a point guard either here in free agency, which free agency is a whole nother video. And then you got healthy Blake Griffin. You got people like Sekou, Luke Kennard, and Mihailuk all coming back. Very good young talent. You know, how good they can get, I don't know. But that's a good little core right there. Adding a guy in this draft, preferably a point guard, because I want to get the point guard for the future. A lot of you guys want to take Wiseman, and the only thing I'm saying against Wiseman is I don't want to start this rebuild, retool, whatever you want to call it, with a center. You know, we just moved on from Andre. Let's take this team in a different direction. Let's get this point guard, something we have been lacking since Chauncey Billups. Let's get this thing fixed, and fix it right now. Because if you get a good quality point guard, you got Derrick Rose coming off the bench, all hell might break loose in Detroit. We might have a good team. Be honest with you. So get this draft is super important. Because if you fail, people in the front office are going to start talking like, I can't believe we did this again. Fans are going to be relentless on, oh my God, we passed on somebody again. And like I said, all hell might break loose. That's for a different reason. Pistons fans, we are hungry for this team to be good again. Like, really good. And getting a point guard, rather if it's Killian Hayes, Anthony Edwards, Cole Anthony. Anthony Edwards is really more of a two guard, but LaMelo, whoever and however it is, we really want to get this thing rolling. And what better way than to get the right guy? There's a lot of pressure on the Pistons to get a good lottery roll, bounce, however you want to word it, however you want to say it. If we don't get the ball to bounce our way here, it's going to be tough, because we put a lot of our chips into getting a good pick. And, you know, you can't help what happens in the world, but this lockout or hiatus is going to hurt the Pistons' lottery chances. You know, we could be boosting it up and getting a better shot at getting the number one pick and getting a better shot at the guy they want to get. Now it's in the lottery ball's hands. Giggity. But yeah, this is super important, guys. This is super important for the Pistons. If they mess this up, we're not in the right direction. You're really going to start questioning, are these the right people in the front office? Do we have the right players here? I mean, if you mess this one up, there's no telling what can happen. Every draft is super important, but being the first draft after you trade away your franchise player for the last 8 years is going to be insanely important. I mean, you look at the Pelicans last year trading away Anthony Davis to the Lakers. In return, they were favored the number one pick and got Zion. We got a lot of stuff in return. We really didn't get a whole lot in return for everything that we lost. A lot of people are happy those players are gone. It's out the window. I don't want to keep talking about those players since they're not here. But you have to get the right player in the draft. And there's not a whole lot you can do if you fall outside the top five. You got to take the best player available. And I don't know if any of these guys will be superstars or game changers or anything like that, but at least get the best player available. I don't want to hear in 2 years that the Pistons should have took blah, blah, blah. Instead, they took Gaga, who's an okay player, but he's not blah, blah, blah. I don't want to hear that. It's time to change the culture. It's time to change the identity and really get back to being Detroit basketball. That being said, who is the player who is the right pick for the Detroit Pistons? Leave that down in the comment section below. And then, do you agree with me? Is this the most important draft for the Pistons in the last 15 plus years or so? Leave that down in the comments. Instagram, Twitter, DSA members in the description. This Saturday, we got a very special Above the Rim for you. We are doing a draft. Stay tuned for that one. Don't want to go on too much longer because it's a longer video. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.